What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and it's been a while, but today we have some news about the Young Avengers making their way to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, we have been talking about the Young Avengers for quite some time now, since even before the Infinity Saga ended, before Avengers Endgame. We expected the Young Avengers to come in Phase 4, and then Phase 4 came, and we were introduced to a lot of potential candidates for the roster of this new Young Avengers team. So fans were getting ready, they were bracing themselves to get a Young Avengers project. This could be a Disney Plus show, or this could be a movie. However, then a Marvel executive came out and stated, we are not doing a Young Avengers project. And a lot of people went, what the heck, how can you not? And this statement wasn't exactly false, but it wasn't exactly true, as it does look like we are indeed going to be getting a Young Avengers project. However, it just might not be called the Young Avengers, and they might not be all that young. However, one of the members of this so-called Young Avengers team is going to be a variant of Kang. Comic book fans know who I'm talking about, and we'll dive into that in this video. And we have some news from some insiders today talking about the Young Avengers project and what it is actually going to be. So for starters, let's talk about how the title might not actually be the Young Avengers. And some of the members of the Young Avengers team aren't exactly going to be so young. Take, for example, Cassie Lang and Kate Bishop. They're not super young, not like Billy and Tommy in WandaVision. They were young. And if you are wondering about the two of them, yes, it does look like they are indeed coming back. And of course, that will tie into Agatha Coven of Chaos and the upcoming Scarlet Witch projects, which we'll talk about. So not all of them are going to be insanely young, and it does look like some adult Avengers will be involved in this Young Avengers project. But like I said, the title is most likely not going to be the Young Avengers. What we've heard so far is the Children's Crusade. And in the comics, the title is simply Avengers, the Children's Crusade. So when the Marvel executive said they aren't making a Young Avengers project, he could have been quite literal. As in, they are not making something titled the Young Avengers. They are making something titled the Children's Crusade, or the Avengers, the Children's Crusade. Because according to the insider My Time to Shine Hello, who has an excellent track record with scoops, she states the ending of Agatha Coven of Chaos will be the setup for the Children's Crusade. She also kind of gives us an update about the release plan for it, stating that it's not going to come out until 2025 or 2026. But this update could tell us a little bit about what the story of the Children's Crusade is going to be about, as well as Agatha Coven of Chaos. And both of them should link together, or at least a part of Agatha Coven of Chaos should link together with the Children's Crusade. You see, in the comics, the Children's Crusade is about Wanda's son, Wiccan, or Billy, as we've come to know him from WandaVision. And in the comics, Wiccan very much has powers similar to his mother's. He has reality-altering powers. And in this specific storyline, his reality-altering powers are out of control, so he seeks out his mother, the Scarlet Witch. Now, this story is really interesting because it has a lot of characters involved, including the Scarlet Witch and Doctor Doom, as well as many other young heroes. Now, of course, the MCU doesn't always adapt stories from the comics page by page. They don't tell the exact same story. They change it. They just kind of take the general idea for the story and make it their own. So perhaps the reality-altering powers of Wiccan aren't going to be the main story for the Children's Crusade. However, we have heard some rumors about Agatha Coven of Chaos and what the plot could be about. And based off of what we know, Billy is indeed returning. We haven't heard anything about Tommy, but Billy, who is Wiccan, should be returning in Agatha Coven of Chaos. Now, right away, I know everybody is thinking the same thing. How is that possible? Multiverse of Madness was literally about Wanda trying to get her kids back, and at the end, she didn't. And some people even think that she died at the end of Multiverse of Madness, but we know that she didn't. She's got a solo movie, a true solo movie eventually coming, and rumor has it that she's going to make a cameo in Agatha Coven of Chaos, which makes sense because at the end of WandaVision, she is the one who kind of traps Agatha. Now, according to the rumor mill, Agatha is going to be set free because Wanda ended up destroying the Darkhold in Multiverse of Madness, and apparently, and I do air quotes here, died. So this sets Agatha free, and apparently she is going to have a son, which is supposed to be some type of reincarnation of Wiccan. Now, it's important to keep in mind this is not confirmed yet, this is just a leak/rumor. However, it does make a lot of sense because we've actually had several reports about Wiccan being a part of Agatha Coven of Chaos. Whether or not he's going to be Agatha's child or Wanda's child, that remains to be seen. But this could take a play from the comics and have him have reality-altering powers. And that could lead him to seek out the Scarlet Witch, who I'm sure would love to have him since she spent an entire movie killing a bunch of people trying to get him back. Now here's something really cool that could happen in this series and then in the Children's Crusade that happened in the comics that would be absolutely wild if it happened in the MCU. This could introduce, or could include even more if he's already introduced at this point in time, Dr. Doom, and possibly, but probably not, Magneto. You see, in this story in the comics, Wanda is actually missing. And much like what is rumored to be the plot of Coven of Chaos, in this story, Wiccan and Speed are believed to be the reincarnations of Wanda's children. So they seek her out. However, Magneto steps up because Magneto at this point in time is believed to be Wanda's father, and he believes that it's time that his grandkids know who he is. So he helps them try to find the Scarlet Witch. And eventually they believe that they find her. However, it is revealed that the Scarlet Witch that they thought they found was actually a Doom bot. So Wiccan ends up teleporting Magneto and the Young Avengers to Latveria. Now, when they get there, they find out that Wanda has no powers and she's actually engaged to Dr. Doom. But what's interesting, and this is how it could actually fit into the MCU, is that the Avengers and the X-Men and the Young Avengers are basically all fighting over Wanda deciding what to do with her. Some believe that she should be killed, but some obviously do not think that. And that could very well be the case for the MCU. If you think about everything that has recently happened with Wanda, the events of WandaVision, her holding a town hostage, and then of course her getting a hold of the Darkhold, learning very dark magic, and then killing so many people. She's probably not looked too highly upon. And we know that she is going to be making a return, and it would make sense to have her return for Secret Wars because she has knowledge about the multiverse and the Darkhold. And let's just face it, she is probably the most powerful hero that we have in the MCU at this point in time. They need her to fight Kang. However, we can see how some heroes will probably say, she's a villain. She murdered a bunch of people, and we can't control her. We should kill her. But then, of course, there will be some people that say, no, she's fine now. The Darkhold is destroyed, plus we need her powers and her strength to fight Kang. This could create a lot of conflict, but could be a very good story. And our Young Avengers film, or the Children's Crusade, could be about this. This could involve the Scarlet Witch, but it is also rumored to involve, like I mentioned, a variant of Kang, who is Iron Lad. Now, if you don't know who Iron Lad is, he's really cool. And he is a variant of Kang. He is Nathaniel Richards. And he was living the normal life that the other variants of Kang have lived. However, his future self stepped in when a kid was bullying him in school. This event in the lives of the other Kangs in the past led to the school bully cutting Nathaniel's throat, which almost killed him and almost bankrupted his parents trying to treat it and make him better again. So Kang interferes. He goes in the past to meet his younger self. He stops the event from happening, and then he gives his younger self a suit of armor, and he shows his Nathaniel glimpses of the future, showing him that he is destined to become Kang the Conqueror. He is destined to conquer. Now, the future Kang did this in hopes that this would kind of jumpstart his path earlier than the future self's path. So he was kind of trying to give him a head start. However, this ended up simply mortifying the young Nathaniel Richards, who did not want to go down this path. Now, this Nathaniel Richards was actually in Earth 6311. And in order to not become Kang the Conqueror, in order to escape his destiny, he ends up using the armor that Kang provided him to not only travel throughout time, but across dimensions as well, and he ends up in a modern-day Earth in the 616 universe. He sought the Avengers to look for help, however, the Avengers mansion was basically destroyed. He then looked for Tony Stark, but found it very hard to get in touch with him. So he ended up breaking into Stark Industries, where he basically found a Vision bot. He reprogrammed the armor for himself, and he became Iron Lad. He then found other Young Avengers, and they formed the Young Avengers team. Unfortunately, him being in this universe caused a lot of chaos to time, and eventually Kang came for him to try and undo the Young Avengers. Eventually, Iron Lad realized that he would have to leave the universe in order for that universe to be okay. He ends up killing his future self, Kang the Conqueror, and ends up deciding to go back home. However, in his own timeline, he would go on to discover that there are ways to travel throughout time without affecting timelines. And this is probably going to be a pretty big concept for Secret Wars, for the Multiverse Saga. Multiverse of Madness, Mr. Fantastic talked a lot about incursions and how traveling to other universes is a big no-no because it can cause incursions. However, what if there was a way to do it without causing incursions? The Avengers and the other heroes are definitely going to need to know this, and since we are being introduced to a lot of different versions of Kang, it would make sense that Iron Lad would come from another universe to try and help our Avengers team. And it looks like that might actually happen in the Young Avengers project, the Children's Crusade. And according to the insider The Watcher, Iron Lad will indeed be in the Children's Crusade project, along with Hulkling, who is rumored to be making an appearance in Secret Invasion. However, that is not confirmed, so we'll have to wait and see on that. However, the Avengers, the Children's Crusade project has the potential to be something pretty dang cool, and it sounds like pretty important as well. But hey, let us know your thoughts about this in the comments down below, and please don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news. You can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.